Ever try teaching a toddler how to build a Lego tower just by talking to them?
Hmm.
Yeah, good luck with that. Today's deep dive has me thinking about that very thing, how we learn as humans compared to how AI is developing. It's kind of a wild ride through research on large language models, and honestly, it's making me appreciate my own, messy human learning curve.
Yeah, it really highlights that fascinating contrast between those two worlds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This research paper we're diving into it points out that humans were all about the sensory world first. Remember, you learned about gravity the hard way,
Oh, yeah.
long before you could even say the word.
Oh, absolutely. Face planted onto the floor way too many times to count. But it's true. Touching, tasting, those early fumbles, they're all key to how our brains make sense of the world, aren't they?
Exactly. It's like building a foundation with your senses, creating this rich understanding of physical space and how things interact. Then language comes along later and adds labels to this already vibrant world you've been, busy exploring.
While AI, on the other hand, it's like they're starting with the dictionary, right? This paper talks about how large language models are trained on these massive text data sets, essentially absorbing every book, article, and tweet they can get their hands on.
Imagine speed running through a library. That's basically what AI is doing. It's fascinating, right? They're not experiencing the world like you and I, but through this process, they're developing their own form of understanding, all based on language.
Okay, so walk me through this AI learning process. The paper mentioned it happens in stages, right?
Right, it breaks down into three key stages. First up is pre-training. This is where AI kind of earns the title of data vacuum. It's all about absorbing these massive amounts of text data language patterns, grammar, even styles of writing.
So it's like they're learning the rules of the language game but haven't actually played it yet. What happens next?
That's where stage two comes in. Self-optimization and reasoning. This is where AI starts to flex its processing power. It starts making connections between words, sentences, even entire paragraphs. It's like it's learning to predict what comes next in a conversation or story all on its own.
Okay, getting a bit spooky now, the AI is thinking, but it's still all words at this point, right?
Exactly. It's like this
Weaver.
incredible mental symphony, but without the grounding in the physical world that we humans have. But that brings us to stage three, fine-tuning for specific tasks. This is where AI starts to specialize. Need a poem written in Shakespearean style? AI can do that. Need a complex legal document summarized? AI is your new best friend.
So by stage three, it's like AI is graduating from language school and entering the real world, but with this incredibly powerful toolkit of language skills.
It's a fascinating parallel to our own human journey, isn't it?
Mm.
We spend years mastering language, and then we use those skills to navigate the complexities of work, relationships, and understanding the world around us.
Except AI is doing it all without ever having spilled juice on the kitchen floor or bumped their head on a coffee table. Part of me is kind of jealous of that direct path. But seriously, that difference in experience has to shape their understanding, right? We keep circling back to this idea that humans learn through their senses first.
Absolutely. And that's where some of the current limitations of AI become really clear. You can feed an AI all the text in the world about what it means to feel happy, but it doesn't mean it can truly grasp the feeling of joy the way your senses come alive when you experience something truly joyful.
It's like the difference between reading a recipe and actually tasting the dish. You can learn the steps, the ingredients, but the true understanding comes from that sensory experience.
Exactly. And that's why, even with all its language processing power, AI still struggles with things like intuition, empathy, and understanding social cues.
Mm.
These are things we humans learn through years of embodied experience through those messy real-world interactions.
Which leads to the big question, can AI ever truly bridge that gap? Can we give AI a crash course in being human?
Well, that's where this whole deep dive gets really interesting. Researchers are exploring the idea of embodied AI, essentially building robots that can learn more like humans through physical interaction with the world. Imagine AI not just processing language, but having a physical presence, experiencing the world through sensors like vision and touch.
So instead of just reading about a sunset, the AI could actually witness one, taking in the colors, the changing light, even the feeling of the breeze. It sounds like we're giving AI a body to go with its brain.
Precisely. And with that, the potential for AI to develop a deeper, more nuanced understanding of the world kind of explodes. We're talking about AI that could learn to anticipate our needs based not just on what we say, but on our facial expressions, our tone of voice, our body language.
Okay, now I'm picturing an AI that can not only write a killer presentation, but also coach me on my delivery and read the room like a pro. Sign me up for that upgrade.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine AI assistants in healthcare, able to not only process medical records, but also pick up on subtle cues about a patient's well-being that even a trained doctor might miss.
It's like we're talking about a whole new level of collaboration between humans and AI, one where AI isn't just a tool, but a partner in problem solving and innovation. But I have to ask, what about the risks? I mean, we're talking about giving AI a lot more autonomy and the ability to learn and adapt in ways we might not be able to fully predict.
That's a crucial point and why this field of research demands careful consideration. As we move towards a future with embodied AI, we need to prioritize transparency in the development process, ensuring these systems are designed with clear ethical guidelines and safeguards in place.
It's like we're walking this tightrope, right? Pushing the boundaries of what AI can do, but also needing to proceed carefully. Like, how do we make sure we're building in, those ethical guardrails along the way?
It's a balancing act for sure, but I think the potential benefits here are too great to ignore.
Mm.
Imagine a world where embodied AI isn't just assisting us, but actively collaborating with us to solve these complex problems. I mean, we could see breakthroughs in everything from medicine to environmental science.
What if instead of fearing AI taking over the world, we focused on how it could help us make the world better? This whole deep dive has me thinking, if we can teach AI to learn like humans, to have that same drive to explore and understand, who knows what we could accomplish together?
That's the spirit. It's about seeing this next chapter of AI development not as a threat, but as a collaboration, a fusion of human ingenuity and artificial intelligence working towards a common goal.
It's almost like science fiction is giving us a sneak peek into a future that's way closer than we think. And the more we understand how AI learns, the better equipped we'll be to navigate those possibilities.
I couldn't agree more. This deep dive has taken us from those first messy steps of a toddler to the cutting edge of AI research. And the biggest takeaway for me is this. The more we learn about how AI learns, the more we kind of discover about ourselves.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty profound thought to leave our listeners with. So to you out there tuning into this mind-bending journey, we challenge you to keep asking questions, stay curious about the world of AI, and maybe, just maybe, start imagining a future where humans and AI work together to create something truly amazing. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.